Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know for me, it was pretty much a chill weekend. All I did was really clean up, especially because I'm kid free. Like you clean up different. I feel like it's way more effective when you have a kid-free home versus kids. So of course, since they was gone with my mama, I definitely was able to deep clean. I even cleaned their rooms because I'm like, no, I'm sick of it. So yeah, I got some deep cleaning done. I got some laundry done, and I was able to cook Sunday dinner early, and I just spent some time with my love. So pretty much a chill weekend. And I don't know about y'all, but my town has definitely been bipolar. Like one moment I'm turning on my AC last week. This week I already feel like turning on my heat because I'm cold. So what is up with this bipolar weather? Those of you who are interested in my personal channel, I did upload some recent content over the weekend. Now, many of you guys know my journey. Some of you don't, but I was a divorced mom of 3. It was a very toxic relationship. That story is on my channel. You just got to scroll down and I give an in-depth story of why I got divorced. But it was very toxic, very draining. And long story short, he decided, since we were getting a divorce, that he was not interested in being a father no more. And that put me in a low vibration because it affected my oldest the most. Because how do you explain to a child that who keeps calling and reaching out to their parent that they don't want to be a parent no more because we're not together, So that was a big, tough part of my life. But I was able to really enhance my spiritual journey and fast and journal, meditate, pray, do what I needed to do just to manifest better, And eventually I ended up manifesting a great man 10 months ago. We got engaged within 9 months. And then, so I pretty much tried to motivate people no matter what your situation looks like, because I had the big issue of dang, now I'm gonna have to be a single mom and deal with that and all that kind of stuff. And once God got you, God got you. I kept staying in a bad toxic situation that was not good for me or the kids because I was afraid of change. So I did a video over this weekend talking about, number one, my engagement story, because some people don't know, oh, well, how did it happen? What's the details? I had people reach out to me, close to me, asking me that. So I did a video on the engagement story, life updates, and then how to accept change in your life. So all of those 3 things are in this one video. So I will link that in the comments below if anybody is interested in that and having issues, going through a journey right now, going through hard times right now, or just kind of afraid of change. That's what that is for. And hopefully you can use my story to motivate you. Now, today's topic is going to be about those good old frenemies, okay? We all know that most of us have had a bad experience with a frenemy, somebody who we thought was our friend, but was not really our friend. So, we're going to be watching that. Also, last but not least, y'all know I post the remote work every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Friday particularly, I post non-incoming call-based positions. So I also just posted a video today of 5 positions that are hiring remotely this week. So if you're interested in remote work or you know someone interested in remote work, that will be in my personal channel as well. That will be linked in the comments. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these Frenemy story times. I'll be back at the end with my commentary. And just an FYI, y'all already know how YouTube is. So if you want to watch any of these stories unfiltered, type in the name on the bottom left on TikTok and you should be able to find those stories. You might have to scroll a little bit, but that's why I keep their names there, because if they have any type of cursing, YouTube, they don't like that. So they will flag the video. So you will see a lot of editing, especially on the last video.
Story time about how I had this weird girl in my close friends that I didn't really know. And she ran back and told my boyfriend everything that I was posting. Let's get into it. Okay, so yeah, let's get straight to the point. This girl was in my close friends. Me and her were not friends. We were cool online. I'm not gonna lie, we did hang out maybe twice, but it wasn't on some we invited each other out. It was on some, we saw each other outside and we was in the same section and we was cool, whatever. So she was in my close friends. I had started dating this dude. All right, so let's break it down. Dude was not my type. On paper he was my type, whatever. I don't like short men, but I liked him. I usually don't go for a certain type of man. I usually go for another type of man. He was a different type of man for me, so I was not really used to him. Like, I didn't really know him. So you know how you get when you first start dealing with somebody, you posting funny stuff in your close friends. I post funny stuff all the time, like jokey. I'm real jokey. Like, I post funny stuff in my close friends all the time. Like, I'm really like just funny. I don't even be trying to be funny, but sometimes I'm just funny. So anywho, I was posting stuff like, he's so short, like, I can't stand short men or whatever. Okay, cool. Blase. Fast forward to a couple months, I'm in love with him. Like, that's my nigga. I love him, period. I don't give a sure he is. I love him. That's my man. All right, cool. Keep that in mind. So I got everybody in my close friends. You know, they probably like, they seeing the switch up. They like, you first got into close friends, you was like, you like boss niggas and da-da-da-da. And now you switching up talking about this your man. Like, everybody was bamboozled. But that's just how I am. Like, I like what I like and I like who I like. So whatever. Okay, cool. Fast forward, like I said. So the girls in my close friends now, my dude was a trainer, a personal trainer. He trained me. I lost weight. I was snatched. I looked good when I was dating him or whatever. We're not together anymore, but still, shout out to him and go work out with him. Still get you right. So anywho, the girl, the snaky that was in my close friends, started training with him because she saw me training with him and she was like, oh, okay, he a trainer. All right, yeah. And he trains like a lot of bad. Okay, cool. So she goes to work out with him and basically, I guess she didn't have a good experience. Like, she wanted to lose weight instantly. That's not how losing weight works. That's not how working out works. Like, you have to be consistent. Everybody knows that. She didn't want to be consistent. She wanted immediate results. And we used to talk about surgery all the time because I had a BBL. She was talking about how she wanted to get a BBL and she was supposed to get a BBL and all this stuff. So let me do a little backstory on the girl first so you get a better understanding. So the girl, I don't know too much about her. I don't even know how I know this girl. I guess we have mutuals or whatever. Blase squaze. Like, when I get close with people on social media, I might add you to my close friends. If you add me to yours, like, we talk enough on social media, I'll add you to my close friends if I trust you, because I feel like, you know, okay, I trust you. So, and if we got stuff in common and we talking about the same type of stuff, then, you know, until you give me a reason not to be my close friends, you're in there. So, like I said, we used to talk about surgery all the time, like, blah, blah, blah. She used to ask me, like, about my BBL and how she wanted to get surgery. I should have known, like, she used to, like, she was obsessed with me. Long story short, she was obsessed with me. She wanted to be me. So you can't befriend everybody that wants to be you. And I didn't know that. I was blindsided. So, anywho, like I said, she started working out with my ex. And he's my ex now, but my boyfriend at the time. She started working out with my boyfriend. And she wanted immediate results. And I had to explain to her, like, girl, you're not going to get immediate results. You got to be consistent. So, she felt like he wasn't a good trainer and he wasn't attentive towards her or whatever. So she DMs me and she's like, oh, one day I post me working out in the gym, and I'm like, got me right, snatched, like, I'm tagging my dude or whatever. And she writes me and DMs me and says, he's only attentive to you. And I'm like, what? Mind you, my dude has hella clients. Like, he's professional. He has, like, a good clientele. He really, like, does this training. So I write her back, like, what you mean? And she's like, I've been working out with him and he's just not attentive. He only thinks about you, like, da da da. And I'm like, you're wrong. Like, I get that you might think that I'm biased because he's my man, but at the end of the day, he's very professional. I've seen him work out with people and nobody has a problem like that. Like, you're just making that up or whatever. So I'm defending him because I'm like, you're tripping. Like, I'm telling her straight up, like, you want immediate gratification and you're not going to get that. Working out requires putting in work. I know that. Like, I don't even be working out like that, but I know that when I do work out, I see the results or whatever. You have to be consistent. She like, no, he just be on his phone and da da da, like just trying to bash my man. So I'm like, wait a minute, what we not gonna do? You're not finna just bash him like in my DMs to me, because that's my man. Like, me and you is social media friends or whatever. And she like, oh, I know you not trying to talk da 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 da. I know you ain't trying to defend him when you was just talking about him, talking about how short he was and blah blah blah. So I'm like, what you mean? Like, girl, that was when we first started talking. Like, that was a long time ago. That doesn't even matter. Get this though. So I let her rock out. I leave it alone. Like, I don't even pay it no mind or whatever. A couple days later, me and my man is laying in the bed. He wake me up like, what is this? And he like, somebody DMing me from a fake page talking about, you need to watch her, bro. She be cheating on you. So I'm confused. I'm like, what? Mind you, I never cheat on my man. Like, I didn't do nothing with, I don't cheat. I don't have a reason to cheat. If I want to leave, if I want to cheat, I'm going to leave. So I'm confused. I'm like, who could this be from the fake page? I had no idea. It's old girl. It's old girl. Like, a couple days later, she sends him screenshots or voice recordings of me talking about him to her in the DMs, because me and her was voice noting back when I had first met him, and I was just telling her like how he was a different type of dude from what I'm used to, how he was short and all this stuff, like just talking like little petty stuff. But that was before I knew him for real, and that was before we had got together. She sends him all the screen recordings, all the voice memos, everything, and blocks me on everything. Like, you're weird. You're weird. So weird. And just obsessed with me. Like, what would make you go to that extreme to try to ruin my relationship because you said my man was not a good trainer and I said he was? It was really weird, guys. And her name is Isis, and I don't give, yeah, I'm calling you out. So if you see this, hi Bookie. My man never left me either.
Story time on why I cut off my then best friend of 7 years. And yeah, I actually wrote some things down on a piece of paper so I don't forget to tell y'all. So our friendship started back in like freshman year of high school. It was like second semester, so this had to be around like 2013. I think we had like an English or a math class together, and she was really cool. Like, she had a super outgoing like personality. Like, I was the exact opposite. I was a super introvert, but for some reason we just really got along. So our friendship really stuck around all throughout high school. She would do like little things in high school that would kind of make me raise an eyebrow. Like, whenever we were like walking together, and mind you, she was popular, she was a cheerleader, I totally get it, but like, we would be mid sentence, mid conversation, and she would just dart in the other direction without saying anything. And I always thought that was super weird, because I'm just like, I would never do that to somebody while they're talking. So I overlooked that red flag, and eventually we graduate, and she goes to school like 4 hours away, but she still comes back to see her boyfriend, who lived like 15 minutes from me. So let's just keep that in mind. At the time, I was still living with my parents, and the only time she would like come to town or like ask to see me is when she needed like me and my mom to like pick her up from, I think it was a train station or the flyaway, to go take her to her other friend's house. At no other time during her stay there did she come and hang out with me. She just used me for a ride. It was my mom's car. Fast forward, we're like still friends. We still like talking on a somewhat consistent basis. And whenever she would come out here, she would only come out here to see her boyfriend. And she really wouldn't even tell me that she was coming to town. Like, she would accidentally like tell on herself, like during conversation. She's like, oh, me and my boyfriend did this and this. I'm like, oh, you were just out here? Like, why didn't you say anything? We could have just like hung out. Like, he lives 15 minutes from me, so it's not like you have to go out of your way to come and see me. And mind you, like, we're supposed to be best friends. And it was one specific instance where me and her actually did get the chance to hang out. I had picked her up from her boyfriend's house. We had gone to the mall. We were hanging out. While we were at the mall, it was like two boys. They tried talking to us, but we both brushed it off because we both had boyfriends. There was really nothing to talk about. And then we went to go meet up with both of our boyfriends for lunch. Now, this is like a little bit post-COVID, so you could order food at restaurants, but you really couldn't sit down and eat. So we had to take our food to go, and we were going to go take our food to one of the view spots that we really like to go chill at. On the way to the view, mind you, my boyfriend's driving, I'm sitting in the front seat, and then it's her and her boyfriend in the back seat. She brings up the boys that tried talking to us in the mall. And I don't really like feed into it too much, but like, yeah, they were just trying to talk to both of us, blah, blah, blah. And this is where it got weird. I get a text from her that she meant to send to her boyfriend. And it said, oh, they were really trying to talk to me. They weren't trying to talk to her. I was like, I literally turn around and show her, and I'm like, what the? Like, that's weird. Like, I'm not even trying to hype it up to make it seem like they were trying to talk to either one of us. They tried to talk to both of us. And why does it matter? Like, we have boyfriends. Like, why does it matter who they're trying to talk to? Like, I just thought that was so weird. So that really, like, killed the vibe after that. And, like, I hate to even be confrontational because we're supposed to be best friends. Like, I don't feel like friendships should ever have to be confrontational whatsoever. But that was some weird, because what can you have just said out loud if you really want to say something? That was weird. So I let that go. And she would occasionally come and tell me, like, that some people were talking, I guess, like, some people or guys or girls from high school we went to. Mind you, like, I wasn't really friends with too many people, so you really had to go out of your way to talk about me. And she would tell me, oh, yeah, somebody said you, they said X, Y, and Z. I'm like, okay, well, who said it? Oh, I can't tell you that. Why? Like, why can you not tell me? Like, are you not my best friend? Because in my head, if you can't tell me who said it, you must have been sitting in there chiming in on it too. Because as my best friend, you would absolutely let me know, because you couldn't have came to my defense. Because if you were in my defense, you would have told me who said it so we could go handle the problem ourselves. Or at least let me stick up for myself and say something to whoever said it. But no, you want to play both sides, and I don't like people who do shit. So, like, after that, like, our friendship was slowly kind of, like, coming to an end. Like, the conversations became, like, less and less. It really didn't help that she lived 4 hours away, or went to school 4 hours away. It really didn't help, and it kind of was to the point where I was like, you know what, like, the friendship really isn't there. I feel like it's one-sided. At one point, I felt like I was one always reaching out. She wouldn't reach out too much. Like, the conversation was just dry. I was like, you know what, I'm kind of just going to leave it alone. And we were having a conversation because at the time, like, I had a nail business. I was doing bottle service, like, and I was working. So I had, like, 3 incomes at one time. And I was doing pretty good for myself. Like, I had moved out. Like, I was really on my own. It was me and my boyfriend at the time. Like, it was just us two. And I was making it work. Like, that's just how I had to do it. And it was cool. And she was like, well, you should have just stayed with your parents and stayed so that way you didn't have to drop out of school. Mind you, she is the one person. If you saw my original pink tote video, she is the only person outside of the people who lived in my house who saw how badly my stepdad had beat me. Because it was one day when me and her were talking, and she was playing, and she, like, bumped into me, but she bumped into the arm where he peeled the skin off. So I was like, I kind of winced a little bit. She's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, no. She's like, no, like, why are you, like, wincing like that? So I showed her, like, my arm was bandaged up, like, under my jacket. Like, I showed her the scars. Not the scars, but the bruises going all down my leg. She was like, you need to call the police. And so if you're the one person who saw how abusive my stepdad was, why on earth would you ever suggest staying there? I left so that way I could be subjected to any more abuse. And you're going to tell me I should have stayed so I can stay in school? Girl, like, did you touch grass at any point in your life? Because I would never suggest you stay in an abusive relationship so you can stay in school. Like, what? I know, I should have ended right there. I should have ended the friendship, like, right then and right there. But I was like, you know what? Like, maybe she just doesn't understand, like, what I'm going through. But now that I'm older, you absolutely understand. Like, people know what they're saying. They know what they're doing. And this right here was the straw that essentially brought the camel's back. Me and my boyfriend, we were going through something. We had just broken up. Like, and I was just, like, confiding in her. Like, you know, I don't even remember what the conversation really went like. But I was just expressing, like, you know, typical relationship problems, and she snapped on me. I don't want to hear about this nigga no more. I was like, wait a minute. Whenever you come to me with the problem between you and your relationship, do I ever snap at you and tell you I don't want to hear it? No. I sit there and listen, and we could be sitting here for an hour, and all I'm saying is, while you sit here and vent to me. But when I'm venting to you, now it's a problem. I was like, you know what? I'm good. Because I don't let people talk to me any kind of way. I'm sorry. I grew up with really verbally abusive parents, so that's like a trigger for me. You don't get to yell at me. You don't get to snap at me. That's it. I cut it off, right? Cut it off like a dead limb. And I know I'm not the problem because she's reached out to me multiple times over the years trying to, like, apologize and, like, rekindle. And honestly, like, I've ignored all her attempts. Like, there's nothing left to talk about. We're all adults here. And I have never in my life snapped at any of my friends, no matter how much stress I was under, no matter how tired I was of hearing about their problems. You're my friend. Why would I not want to hear about your problem? This is a safe space for you to come and vent to. I didn't have any other like real sorts of like, I didn't have a mom. I don't have a big sister. I don't have a cousin that I can go to. So low key, she was kind of like, she was like my outlet. And I'm gonna be real with you, she got a sprinkle of what the I was really going through. I was really taking everything on the chin and not even really telling anybody my problems. I'm over here talking to you about my relationship problems, and you're snapping on me. Yeah, the friendship had to go right then and right there. Like, it was done after that. Like, she's tried to reach out. I don't have nothing to say. Like, and we're all grown now. This happened like, what, 3 years ago? And I'm cool. Like, there's a list, baby. There's a list of egregions. I'm straight.
Story time on how me and my ex-best friend aren't friends anymore. You might want to grab a snack and sit down because this is going to be a lot. By the way, this is no hate whatsoever towards her. I do hope for the best for her. Just for some background, this has happened before in our friendship. A situation kind of like this that caused a huge breakup before. Also, she does go to a different school than me. She goes to my sister's school. She's like a grade younger. Anyway, so starting off, our whole friendship was like sideways. There was always something going on. Certain situations like friendships, boyfriends, school, anything like that, it was always, you know. In the past, she has broken up me and my ex-boyfriend out of a whole lie, and it was just a really big situation. I mean, in the end, we did break up. And throughout that period of time, she hated him. She didn't like me being with him. She would get upset if I hung out with him, even though I spent literally every single weekend with her. She just broke us up because she didn't want us together. So that should give you a little bit of background on this situation. So this starts off and I'm sitting in class. I get a phone call from this girl and she's telling me, "Did you see this account?" I was absolutely confused. I was like, "What account are you talking about?" She told me, you know, the secret account that Rain has. Rain is the code name for my ex-best friend. I was like, "Absolutely not. Let me see this account." So she shows me it, and mind you, there's a whole bunch of girls by this girl and they're all like talking about it. So she shows me it and it's literally a whole bunch of videos about me, and the videos are a whole bunch of lies, and majority of those videos are based on me and my current boyfriend. Mind you, she'd always tell me, "I hate your current boyfriend," and she'd sit there and make fun of him and say all these things about him when she knew I didn't feel comfortable with that and I didn't like it one bit. She just thought it was a big joke and she could say whatever she wants because she was my best friend at the time. Anyways, it was a whole bunch of videos bashing me, a whole bunch of lies. It was misleading lies about me personally and me and my boyfriend, and the whole reason for these videos was to get a hint of fame. You know how people make those accounts, those secret accounts, and try to blow up on them? That's exactly what she did, yet she used me, her best friend, to slander for fame. As I was looking through these, I'm not kidding you, my heart dropped and I started bawling. I was so confused on what this was even for. I was so confused because there was nothing going on at all. The entire time she was secretly having an account locked me and everybody that's related towards me, like friends, family, blocked. And she's sitting here bashing me for fame. And I just like to point out, at the time, she was slowly replacing me with a girl that she would talk insane things about. Like this girl, she would always be talking bad about her, and I didn't know it yet that she was replacing me until later on. Anyways, after I see all those videos, my first resort was to text her. So I sent her a really big paragraph and I made it the most respectful as possible, and I was heartbroken. I was devastated because my best friend of almost 3 years is sitting on social media bashing me for fame and making a whole bunch of lies about me just for fame. So when I texted her, she responded hours later, ignoring the whole paragraph and saying, "Yeah, we can talk later." We never talked later, and it's been weeks. And after I did send her that paragraph, I did notice she made another video about me. I was just so lost. I was confused on what I did in the first place. I did absolutely nothing but be there for her and comfort her, and I was a really good friend to her. And behind my back, she's sitting here and doing all of this. She has chosen her boyfriend and this girl that she was replacing me with, and I didn't think much of it. So weeks go by and she's still talking bad about me, which I still have no idea for what reason. And meanwhile, during that time, her boyfriend is sitting there bullying my little sister at school. And on the lines of that, the girl that she was replacing me with the entire friendship, as soon as we stopped being friends, they were immediately best friends. They were together 24/7, doing the exact same things that me and her would do. So it shows how easily replaced I was. I don't know if this whole thing is based off of jealousy or or what? I honestly am still confused to this day. I have no idea what caused this or what has happened. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. I love you guys so much.
So me and my friend at a bar, and I'm drunk as hell drinking. Y'all, I be lit. I be outside. I'm lit. Okay. 9 times out of 10, before I go to the bar, I'm already drunk. I'm already lit. I done pregame, done drunk, half the bottle. You know what I'm saying? I be lit. So I'm at the bar, I order me a drink. I'm walking through the crowd. It's packed up in here. I'm walking through the crowd. Boom, I bump into this dude. But I drunk, y'all. I'm short as hell. I look up at him. I'm like, damn, you gonna say excuse me? He looked at me like, you bumped into me. I'm like, looking at her like, damn, he fine. I'm like, but still, I don't care how cute you is, say excuse me. Why my friend behind me talking about, yeah, excuse her, you know her big as hell wobbling through the crowd. She ain't trying to bump into you. Like, he looked at her like, but yeah, he kind of treated her respectfully, in a respectful way. He like, she fine as hell. You ain't even have to throw all that in. She like, this how we talk to each other, and da 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 da. He like, she looked too good for you to be talking to her like that. He talking about all that. It was unnecessary though. Like, so he looked at me anyways. He cut us off. She come on, keep going. He nah, come here, come talk to me. I'm like, ooh, hold on, let me talk to him. She mad as hell whole time, whole night. She walk away like, so she walks off. She mad as hell. So I'm sitting there talking to the dude, whatever, chop him down. Well, he chopped me down. But whatever. So my keys in her purse, because I had got drunk. She must have put my keys in her purse. Mind y'all, this is why I do not like going to the bar with people, because if I'm finna be drinking and driving, I don't like risking my life taking nobody home. I hate just being the driver. Like, I hate it so bad. So I go find her. She got my keys. I'm like, get my keys. I'm ready to go. You know, I ain't gonna lie. It was like a hour before the club closed. She like, I'm not ready to go. I'm like, well, I am. So give me my keys. She like, well, I'm not ready to go. You drunk as hell, gang. I ain't finna let you drive. Da-da-da. Try to little girl me with my keys. I'm like, bro, give me my. She like, so what, you gonna leave us? You gonna leave us here because you mad because I said whatever? I'm like, no, it's not about that. I'm just ready to leave. Like, I'm drunk as hell and ready to go. So she like, I'm not, giving you your keys. You drunk, I'm not finna give you your keys. So the dude standing right there, it's a different dude, y'all. He like, I'll Uber you home, ma, whatever you is drunk. But still, I'll Uber home, but I want my keys. So we literally sitting here arguing. So she finally pulled my keys out her purse and kind of throw them to me. So I'm like, pick up my keys. At this point, I want to fight. She like, you drunk, tweaking, you doing too much in front of people. I'm like, pick up my keys. You didn't have to throw them. She like, you trying to do all this because you got a car, make money. I got bet. Like, what are we talking about now? Now it's giving like you a hater or something. Like we beefing. Like, I'm confused.
Okay, so let's have a conversation about the frenemies. Now, keep in mind, we are just hearing one side of the story, so I'm just going to give my opinion based off of who is telling the story. So for the first story, I mean, I feel like it's common sense and very much girl code that you keep things between your relationship with your friend with each other. You shouldn't be going out and just spreading what y'all talked about. And that's to both men and women, in my opinion. Like, if I talking to you about something, that don't mean go out and tell everybody what I told you. But this particular, why would you go and tell him when I done said this about him and you supposed to be my friend? You don't even know him. So, I don't know about y'all, but most of us have done that, to where we have met a guy and then we'll vent about the guy to our friend. Like, I don't know, he's cute, but I don't like this. Or I don't know, he seemed to be too short. Or I don't know, he's this way, that way. Like, most girls do that. It's girl talk. Like, it's normal to do that. And then you might end up liking him. A lot of times your friends will be the one like, nah, girl, just give him a chance. Like, go on a date with him. Just see how it is. I've given my friends plenty of advice saying that, to where they're like, I don't know, I like all this about him, but I don't like this about him. Okay, why don't you just go out with him and give him a chance? Because you might end up really liking him. So I feel like it was very much messy for her to do that. And I'm not going to lie, it's giving that she was waiting on a moment to even do that messy stuff anyways. Like, it's definitely given that she was hating. And I don't know the other girl's shape or size. or anything like that, but the girl said, who told the story, said that she got a BBL and she was working out, etc. And maybe the other girl, she might have been a little heavier, and maybe since she was asking her questions about her BBL, she could have been hating that she didn't get a BBL yet, or she was wanting a BBL, maybe she couldn't afford it, so she could have been hating on her for that reason. And then also she was looking good. Now, one thing I have heard an overweight girl say, now, and I don't know if her friend was overweight, she was overweight, whatever, but let's just say both of them were a little heavier. One thing I have heard an overweight girl say before is that once she was hanging around a lot of people who was overweight, like they had a whole friend group, I guess, of people who was overweight, and she said that once she started losing weight, they would throw shade at her and throw little shots at her, like, oh, you getting too skinny, and her family would too. And it's like, damn, y'all mad at her because she's making good health choices. So I have heard that before. And again, I don't know if that is this case to where they both were maybe overweight or whatever, but I'm just saying that has happened with situations like that before. So I feel like she just was low-key hating on her, and she's like, man, like, she looked like that working out with him, let me go work out with him. Because keep in mind, she could have worked out with anybody, she didn't have to work out with that guy. And I'm pretty sure he has a lot of content, because a lot of trainers, especially this day and age, has a lot of content showing how they train people. You can read their reviews and stuff like that. So, you know, she probably already seen how he trained. So you decided to still train with him, and you seem to like be mad at the results that you're not getting compared to what your friend is getting. And you have to keep in mind that's still also his woman. So yeah, he might flirt a little bit or throw a little bit more attention her way because that's still his woman, but it does not mean that he's not good at what he do, and it does not mean that he's not professional. And I feel like it just was low-key given she was hating, and I feel like it low-key was given like maybe she liked the dude, had a crush on the dude, because sometimes you can see a picture of a guy and then you get around them in person and you start to like them, and you be like, a picture, oh, he cool, he okay, but then you start getting around the energy and all that, and you start to like form an attraction. So she could have had that too, to maybe she formed an attraction to him and maybe she was jealous of her because of that. Who knows? Okay, but it definitely sounds like she was hating, and it also sounded like she wanted him to give her the same type of attention / affection that he was giving his woman. So that whole story was very much weird to me. Like, you had to go to the extent of sending him a private conversation that y'all had in the girls group. It's giving you was waiting on a moment to do that. With the second story, you really have to be careful with some people's intentions. And I know this sounds crazy. I know this sounds crazy. Remember how I said some guys will hang out with you just to humble you? Baby, some women will hang out with you just to feel better about themselves internally. And I know y'all might be thinking like, what are you talking about? Like, some people are internally insecure and damaged, so they will hang with people who they feel like will make them feel better about themselves, like their ego about themselves. So for example, I have seen a lot of story times about women who said that their friend thought that they was always more attractive than the other friend. So anytime that they would go out and dudes would approach them and not the other friend, she would throw low-key shade remarks and all that, which we're going to get into with the fourth story. But I'm just saying, so like sometimes people will hang out with you because they feel like it's going to make them feel better about themselves. So like, oh, let me befriend this ugly person, or let me go befriend this person who doesn't look as good as me. Like, they'll do that to feel good. Now, if you're confident and you look good, then that is what it is. Like me, I'm told I'm attractive, and I appreciate that, but I also really love attractive people. Like, I love pretty women. Like, I will be the one to be like, dang, you pretty. Like, you are so gorgeous. Like, you pretty. Come here. Like, stuff like that. Like, I will flirt. I'll do all that. That's just me and my personality. Like, I love complimenting beautiful people. Like, I just love it. But there are women who are pretty but don't like other people, pretty people around. Like, I've been in a situation like that as well, to where one of my friends had another attractive friend, but then when I came around, she acted real weird. Like, she wanted to be considered the only attractive person in there. I don't know. It was just weird because I feel like we all was attractive, but I feel like she felt like she was the most attractive or something. And it don't matter. It's really not that big of a deal. And I feel like it only becomes a big deal when people start trying to talk to you, because it only happened when we all went out and guys was approaching me. Then all of a sudden she want to whisper and do all this kind of stuff. So like, you have to be careful. Some people, they're pretty, they're attractive, and they also enjoy other pretty, attractive people. And then there's people who only want to be the attractive person, so they feel some kind of way when somebody else attractive come around, okay? So I feel like with the second story, you know, it's definitely given that she was hanging out with her to make herself feel better, in my opinion, especially when she said they would be walking and mid-sentence, like she would walk away. Like, and I'm like, that's rude as hell. But if she a cheerleader and popular, maybe the other girl was looked at as like a nerd or something like that. I've seen that happen many times in high school where they don't want to be seen with certain people and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it definitely was not giving a genuine friendship. Like, listening is an essential part of genuine friendships. Like, my friends know that my phone is open 24/7. And if I don't answer, we have little code words of like, you know, this is an emergency, I need to talk to you, to where I'll pick up the phone and call you. You know what I mean? As soon as I can. So that's an essential part of genuine friendship. Even if you don't want to necessarily hear it, or even if you told this person that multiple times, it is what it is. That's your still goal, is a friendship. And like, I've been in situations with friends to where I have told them over and over again, like, girl, leave him alone, da da da. And you still have to just accept your friend for who they are. Hopefully pray for them that they'll make the best decisions, but it's still your obligation to be a good friend. And if they need a vent, then you need to let them vent. Point blank, period. So I feel like that was very rude, because she said many times she let her vent. So why wouldn't you let her vent? If she want to vent about the same dude, it just is what it is. That's your friend. When it comes to the third story, it's definitely given that movie Cyberbully. Y'all remember that movie? That movie is so good. It's Emily Osment, right? Is her name? The one who is that Home Alone's little sister? The guy who was in Home Alone, his little sister? I think that's his little sister. But no, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. It's the guy who was in The Sixth Sense. It's his little sister. She has a movie called Cyberbully. Every time I watch that, I cry, y'all. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's so good. And it's where she has a best friend who ends up being the cyberbully this whole time. And it's really dirty, because she ruined like her reputation and all that. She's like, why would you do? You supposed to be my best friend and you hiding behind a fake page? That's what that's given. Like, it's crazy that people are weird like that. It be your own enemies. And she's like, you know, I don't even know what happened, why she would do this. Baby, sometimes people will hate on you for reasons you have no idea of. Like, I've heard people say, well, I don't know why, like, I'm big, or I don't know why I'm not attractive, I ain't got money, I ain't got da-da. You don't have to have any of that for people to hate on you. People will hate on you because of your personality. People will hate on you because other people love you and adore you. People will hate on you just simply because of God's favor on your life. Trust and believe. I have went through it. So people will hate on you for no reason that you would ever think. Okay? So I feel like that's what that was given. That's weird. You're very much weird, and you very much deserve to get your butt beat. Like, she definitely could have pulled up on her. Like, oh, you don't want to answer the phone. You don't want to answer why you did this. Let me pull up so we can have a conversation. I'm just kidding, y'all. Don't condone violence. But I'm just saying, if it was to happen, I'm not going to say that she right or wrong for it. Okay? And then the last story, I'm sorry again, because I know it was a lot of editing, but I wanted to include that story because that is very much so a frenemy situation. So similar to what I was saying in regards to like the second story, some people, again, will be friends with you because it makes them feel better about themselves internally. So we don't know what the other friend looked like, but clearly the one telling the story, she might be a little bigger because the friend was saying that she big and stuff like that. And some women who are skinny, they feel like they look, you know, they're way better than the person who is bigger. So they'll throw little shots like that and shades like that. So if her friend seen her talking to a dude that was attractive, she probably was hating, like, how's she talking to him when she looked like this? Why would you intentionally bring up something like that while she talking to this man? Yeah, with her big A, da da da. I cannot stand women who do that. And there is a lot of women who do that. They will bring up friends' insecurities or things like that in front of men. Like, girl, you are not a girl's girl. Like, I cannot stand when people do stuff like that. Like, that was just highly unnecessary. And I'm so glad the dude respectfully checked her and said that, because you should feel dumb about yourself. You supposed to be her whole friend and you doing something like that. Now, I will say when it comes to this, there's a lot of different scenarios with it. Like, obviously, skinny women versus bigger women, like, they might get jealous that somebody bigger than them is getting more approach than them. I've heard with dark-skinned women and light-skinned women, this is a thing sometimes where the light-skinned friend will feel some kind of way that the dark-skinned friend is getting attention. I've heard this with white women versus other ethnic groups, just all of that kind of stuff, because society might deem something as more attractive. So people who fit into those quote unquote more attractive categories, they start to like place themselves as like higher than the next person who doesn't fit those categories in their eyes. So they feel some kind of way like, well, why are they getting all this attention and I'm not? Like, I'm light skinned. Why ain't I getting attention and she's getting attention? She's dark skinned, or, I'm white and I'm privileged. Like, why ain't I getting this Caucasian man's attention? Why is he more interested in the ethnic girl? Like, trust me, this stuff happens. These stories are on TikTok everywhere. Like, that stuff definitely happens. So you have to be mindful and watch out people's intentions of being your friends. But with the last story, I'll also say we only did hear her side of the story. Now, I do feel like maybe her friend was trying to keep her safe by taking the keys from her, because if you're sloppy drunk like that, well, I don't know if she was sloppy drunk, but if you're drunk to where more than one person is noticing that you're drunk, maybe she was trying to keep her keys for safety reasons. But I'm the type of friend to where it's like, I'm not going to keep on forcing it. I'm just going to take action. So first of all, it depends on the situation. We had a girl in our friend group to where things got violent because she didn't want to leave. So we let her stay at the club, but she got violent though. So you got to let people who get drunk and violent, just let them go, because that might end up in a very bad situation. Like, I had to cut off a friend because of something like that, to where they get violent when they get drunk. Like, I'm not about to keep dealing with this over and over again. You need to control your liquor. But I will say with this particular story, she definitely could have been trying to keep her friend safe by keeping her keys. But what I probably would have done in that situation was just been like, listen, I'll give you your keys, but I'm calling an Uber first. So as soon as the Uber get there, I would have gave her keys, let her get in the car, etc. But, I don't know. Like, that's kind of a tough situation because we don't hear the other side of the story, but you definitely should not be one to drive if you are drunk, because you can put yourself at risk and you can also put other people on the road at risk as well. Now, I will say also, keep in mind that anytime you are going somewhere with somebody, especially when you're going out to the club and all that kind of stuff, events, have your own transportation. Like, I hate riding with people. I love to have my own transportation because I, at any point in time, want to leave. So I'm not trying to wait on nobody. And I might just mess around and get an Uber back home, So I would say have your own transportation, especially if you know that you have a friend that doesn't usually stay out too late and you want to be the one to stay out to the club let out. Have your own transportation, because you're going to have to take the risk of, like, if that person wants to leave, then you need to leave with them because you are their ride home. But let me know what y'all think. Have y'all ever had any Frenemies story times? Like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all in the next one.